What's up, y'all? It's Deep Talk with T, episode 25. Today's topic of discussion is being present for what isn't pleasant. What do I mean by that? Well, life has many things that come up that are not pleasant, or that we might not deem as pleasant, like the death of a loved one, the last set of a workout where you're pushing and giving all you got, the loss of a relationship, anything that doesn't naturally seem desirable, especially in the moment. Not something that you've prepared yourself for to think otherwise about, but in the moment doesn't seem pleasant, doesn't seem desirable. You can try to run from that, you can try to numb yourself out of feeling that, or you can be present for that experience. What does being present for that experience offer you? Well, when you try to run from something, it doesn't make it go away. You still have to deal with it. So one, by being present for it, you tackle what's inevitably something that you have to tackle anyway. You don't sweep it under the rug, you get it. It's if you drop a bottle or something like that, or you spill some water or something like that, or you spill something that you need to clean up. It doesn't mean that you don't need to clean it up. It's just if you don't tackle it right then and there, you try to sweep it under, then you have to get to that later. At some point, that's going to need to be dealt with. So it's addressing what needs to be addressed immediately as opposed to putting it off and leaving it for later. As opposed to trying to numb yourself from it, which is another form of running from it, you also grow from it. As opposed to numbing it, when you, again, try to sidestep the things that when you try to go out and get drunk after something to not feel it. Even people who smoke, I smoke weed every day, but I don't smoke to numb myself out of things. I don't smoke to not think about shit or smoke to clear my mind. I have a different relationship with the plant, and I'm not going to try to espouse a right or wrong way to anybody, but I am distinguishing between what being present for something that isn't pleasant means and what the alternatives that people often run to are, and the implications of both of these things, because they all have consequences. We all have the effects of our actions that we have to live with. So being present for what isn't pleasant offers you points of growth all the time. When you say it is the death of a loved one, I recently had a few loved ones die, as many people did during this pandemic. Mine's happened to be something different, but either way, you have to deal with those things. And that's why Memento Mori is another episode, because you will die. Remember your mortality, because you will shuffle off this mortal coil, as Shakespeare said. So there's obviously multiple ways of addressing the death of a loved one. You can not think about it. You can try your best to not think about it and not process it. You can be in denial about it. You can, again, try to numb yourself out of feeling about it. But you can also process these things. And that's what, again, another episode was on processing. That is how you process these things, by being present for them. You don't have to do the work necessarily of trying to force the processing to happen. If you feel sad, if sadness is a feeling, if you have a feeling that you identify as sadness, and you have thoughts that are making that feeling stronger, and you are having physiological responses to that, like tears and trembling or whatever is correlating between these thoughts and feelings and your sensations, you can be present for those things, and you can get that there's information in all of your experiences, in your emotions, in your thoughts, and in your physiological sensations. You can get that wisdom by being present. You can get that healing by being present, because the body and the universe in general have self-healing mechanisms. You can see it in all creatures. You see it in your body's ability to rehabilitate itself, and when something happens to it that you get a gash, we put stitches on to help the body, but the body does its own recovery. We do things that help the body, but the body recovers on its own, or it doesn't, because that is the way. And it's not just us. There are animals, obviously, all through the world that lose a limb or get cut in half and they become two, or that there's regeneration is the name of evolution. It's the way of evolution, and it's how creation continues. So being present for these things offers you the wisdom of awareness, the wisdom of awareness. There's so much wisdom in awareness, and being present allows that wisdom to just be made just apparent to you. It becomes so blindingly obvious. So many things, the answers just get rolled out at your feet when you become present. And oftentimes when you can learn to induce the stress on yourself, and you can make the unpleasant circumstances a part of your daily routine as a way of growing, then you learn to handle things that blindside you in life with much more strength, because you're much more rooted. You practice presence in unpleasant situations so much more, and when you practice daily gratitude, when you practice awareness of your mortality, you appreciate the people around you and their mortality more. So if you have a loved one, you appreciate their mortality, and you don't look at their life as a given, which is ungrateful as fuck, to look at something as just a given. If anybody gives you anything and you don't appreciate it, you just look at it as a given, they're gonna feel unappreciated. Even if it's a parent with a kid, and they don't say, if your kid never says thank you for anything, even though it's your responsibility and your obligation to give them shit, you're still gonna feel unappreciated. That's how parents are. That's how it is. Because it doesn't mean every single time it has to be a showering of, but being present, again, offers you that wisdom, of that awareness, and that there's gratitude in being present, in that the practice of gratitude, of remembering your mortality, of like looking at your life circumstances and your life script and attacking your objectives with a tenacity that matches life or death, or matches a sense of passion that truly shows an appreciation for life. That is living life fully, and that is what being present for what isn't pleasant is all about, and the value of that. So I hope that it is something that you seek to apply in your life daily, and much love to everybody.